Hello, everybody. This is Margaret. Welcome to my channel. You're on Booktube, and happy Friday. I've got I was going to say a snoring cat, but now he's awake and looking at me upside down. So we'll hope that he doesn't want to jump and upset everything. In the meantime, I'm going to be moving a little slower. I woke up with one of those like cricks, so yeah, can't move my head normally, but that's not going to stop us, for today is Small Booktuber Tag Day. And, hey Anita, I'm starting to think that you like designed a program to go on all your friends' channels and say hi, first person, whenever they go live. Because really, it's like eerie. You're always there. Pretty cool. So what am I doing today? Small Booktuber Tag, hashtag live book tag, Friday live. And before I get started on those prompts and who tagged me, because that's kind of exciting, 3 different people tagged me. So I knew it was time to do this and get it on the schedule. I just wanted to say there's a few things upcoming. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, I'm going to be discussing Cranford with Baroness Bookish Adventures. So that's 10 a.m. My time in the Pacific and 8 p.m. her time in Turkey time. So you're probably somewhere in between us, and that means that you can tune in for a Saturday discussion of a classic Victober read. Jim is also here. Hey, Jim. Anita says no. She just gets the YouTube early reminders. I guess that's what you get when you have the notification bell. I don't do the notification bell for everyone because I'm on so often. I've started checking for what's live in my subscriptions, but not all the time. So you are 3 steps ahead of me. After Berna tomorrow, Sunday, I have a super early morning roll call for the Worldwide Write-a-thon. I'm going to be on Chandra Arthur's, she's also an author, channel. I'll just put these up here. We've got Berna and me discussing Cranford tomorrow. We've got Chandra et al., and that means 6 people. She's invited 5 people onto her channel, and I am only 1, and I don't know any of the other people. I've heard of Laura, but I don't know any of the others, so I'm very excited to get to know them between writing sprints for the write-a-thon. That sounds fun. And then the last thing is back on my channel. Next Sunday is our Authortube panel on past lives, and I'm hoping to make that pretty interesting and toggle between silly / spiritual questions about past lives and practical, pragmatic author questions about past lives. So, sorry, that's I had to do the air quotes. But hopefully that'll be fun on Halloween. All right, so there are your teasers, and who are the 3 people, the lovely people who tagged me for this Small Booktuber tag? Tori over at Hufflepuff Discovery, Michaela over at Song of My Shelf, and I think Jeremy will love her channel name. Unfortunately, she's taking like a break because there's a lot of stuff going on for her, but she has some really, really funny videos. And finally, Jackie Reads and Writes. And yeah, so thank you guys for tagging me. And look, I'm already helping someone. I gave Jim a W, Worldwide Write-a-thon. Say that 3 times fast. I don't think that my vote won in his poll. Jim just had a poll for whether he can do XYZ combined, for his final prompt, and I said no, because I want to try I want him to try to like eke out enough prompts. They can be short. But totally up to Jim as always. And so let's get started on the prompt. Number one. Let's see, where's my little notepad here? Oh, here's the one I didn't do. Okay, so the first prompt is introduce yourself. And you guys already know who I am, but just in case people walk into here, like bellying up to the bar, I'm Margaret. I'm a booktuber stroke, as they say in Britain, authortuber. I have 5 books out. I am here on YouTube to get the word out about them, as well as chat about favorite books and participate in fun readathons and buddy reads, etc. And I'm here in Portland, Oregon. I am a Californian, sorry. I love to travel. I love tea, although instead of tea, we're being fueled by hot chocolate today because it's that type of day. Oh, yeah, and my books are about historical fiction, the British Empire, the 19th century, and the Gilded Age. So that's my sum up. I hope I did that pretty well. Prompt number 2, how long have you been on Booktube? 15 months. Does it feel longer than that or shorter than that? Both. That is a question I invented. Prompt number 3, what types of videos do you make? And I do book reviews, I do wrap-ups, I do TBR videos, I do productivity sprints, I do book tags like this one, I do dramatic readings, although not in a while. I do Authortube panels, like I mentioned in the teaser section. I do Authortube behind the scenes videos, things that I'm thinking about. And to date, I've done 1 vlog. So lots of variety, and I hope that entertains people as I go. Jim says, I did the poll because I have just been given a community tag. Community tab, I think you mean. Okay, I don't know that you have to be given that because I think they still exist for everybody. I was actually going through old videos and I saw myself pondering about this months and months ago because everyone has one of those, I think, but we got a notification within the last month that they would be going away, except for people who have more than 500 followers, which I think includes Jim, but does not include me because I'm a small booktuber. But it hasn't gone away yet, as far as I can tell. So it's just that no one sees them. They don't get pushed up in the algorithm. So I don't know. Winspear is also a W. Yes, if I was doing the W tag, I would definitely point out Jacqueline Winspear, one of my favorite authors. Mystery series. Community tab, you get one when you pass 500. Yes, but all the things I just said. All right. Next prompt is, what do you love about Booktube? Well, I am avoiding what everyone is saying, which is community, and I'm going to put it in a different way. So one of the things I love about Booktube that popped into mind was new skills. So I haven't ever edited videos before, and I've obviously had to learn how to do that. I never had to worry about lighting before, or streaming equipment, or getting internet in my home. I mean, that's not really a skill, but learning about the tech side is, I think, one of those things that tends to give me hives. But the connections and the art that is produced was enough of an incentive for me to bite the bullet, to be patient with myself enough to get it done. And here we are, 410 subscribers later. So it's not bad. So new skills, the connections you make. So along with you out here listening right now, the comments that we have about books, the recommendations that we have about more books, the tips about marketing, and just like great conversations about personal issues that we've even had on offline discussions, the just like positive stuff we throw at each other to help each other through the day. I just really like those connections. And finally, possibilities. So when I've been on other platforms trying to interact with people as a reader and or writer, I definitely felt limited, and like I was put into one lane of highway in which I was limited by how much money I could spend on it, or how well I could craft a front, like a persona. And yeah, I guess we have personas on Booktube, but I mean, this isn't much of a credibility bookcase. I don't have to learn. See, here's the difference. Like new skills, I've learned video editing and some fun stuff there, but I can't get behind the stuff that you do on Bookstagram, which is all the photo arranging and the filters. And so I wonder what the difference is. I think because video editing feels like a transferable skill, whereas on Instagram, it feels like I have to play by one app's rules. And so it doesn't feel like something I will use outside of it, or, outside of that monopolistic company, which is the Faces, the Book of Faces. It's changing its name because it's too monopolistic and it's got a bad rap. Yeah, so actually that was a good piece of reflection that I'm realizing now, like new skills that you can repeat elsewhere versus catering and pandering to an app so that, you say, please, please, please push my content. I mean, I guess I do that in some ways on this platform, but the rules just seem more transparent and like anyone can look them up and try to follow them. Whereas on Instagram, it feels a lot more clicky and I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I doubt it. Katya's here. She says, hi, Margaret. Hi, Jim. Nice to see you, Katya. Is it late? No, it's early evening for you, I think so. No sweat. Next prompt. What types of books do you read? Oh, and I have a typo here. So this is actually pretty cool. So I went on to my Storygraph, which is fun, and looked up what types of books I read because they put it all on a pie chart for you and it looks very pretty. So I can tell you that the top 3 types of moods I read this month at least are reflective, informative, and challenging. Ta-da! And that doesn't really reflect my Victober list. So I guess just October's grab bag. Yeah, there you go. The genres I have read in the past 30 days are historical fiction, romance, which I don't even remember what I've read romance-wise in the last 30 days, and classics. And that might be because of Cranford and Victober. So there we go. And some of the other stats that they aggregate for us are slow-paced books. I read slow-paced books. I read 300 to 500 page books, so right in the middle, the sweet spot. And the format is print. I read print books. So here we go. That was a fun, easy thing to grab from Storygraph. I recommend it to anyone who wants a better experience than Goodreads, because that's the zone. Let's see. Jim is our easternmost correspondent for the moment, 10 in the evening. And he says, Book Sirens has pie charts too. Book Sirens. I think I've heard of that, and I haven't looked into it because I've committed to Storygraph for this year at least anyway. So, Lord knows I don't need another way to track my reading. I already have a book and an online thing with tags. So hopefully that's all I have to worry about for the foreseeable future. So that's the types of books I read. And then I actually put this in my notes. So before we continue to prompts 6 and 7, I'm going to say like, comment, subscribe. And the tricky part is you can't comment on the video yet because you're commenting in live chat. That's fine. That's just as good. And you people I know have already subscribed, so it'll just be for the stragglers who come afterwards. Welcome, stragglers. Welcome, and please subscribe to my channel because I do fun stuff. Jim says Book Sirens is like NetGalley for getting e-arcs. Okay. So people who want to stay abreast of new releases, check out Book Sirens. Thanks for the tip, Jim. Oh, okay. That's how he got out front the following. See, I got it from responding to a book tour operator, the next big book club, on Twitter. So there you go. Different paths. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe, and then prompt 6, we're ready. What is your favorite video that you've made? Ooh, okay. So this is why I was trawling through the old archives, which I never do. So here's one of my falling down things as an author is that once you put this content out there, the smart thing to do is to recycle it in some way, because when you get a new audience, they haven't seen the old stuff. So instead of constantly putting new work in and just wasting the effort in the past, you should be able to chop it, channel it, repackage it, and be like, hey, there's this blog post that's about a really big experience in my life. Maybe new people would want to read about that, right? Yes, that's the smart thing to do. And if Barrett were here, he would tell you that is a good idea. But I get so caught up in making new content that I don't have time, or I don't allow myself the time to do that. And it might be less work, but I don't know. I guess I prioritize the algorithm's new content bias over like the smart, supposedly efficient old school advice. I don't know. Maybe that's backwards, but that's what I've been doing. Anyway, so I went through old videos and took out 5 that I thought would be fun. So I'll describe them, I'll drop them in the chat, and then I'll put them in the description box afterwards. So the first one is the most recent. It's authors and their artifacts. So this was my first Authortube panel that I convened this summer. And it was 4 of us, and we were talking about things that were relics of our creative past. Kind of, I missed an opportunity to make this Indiana Jones themed, I guess, with like a hat and a whip or something. But artifacts from the creative process. And so I had, oh, my neck. I had stuff like this. Christy just posted a photo on Instagram about little scrolls that were wrapped up that she liked. And I told her that in my artifact box deep in the closet, I actually had some of those because I filled up an empty glass bottle full of little scrolls that people could choose to pick out and ask a question at an event. And of course, like, one person did. So they're all still in their little format, but it took a while to like write these things in calligraphy and come up with questions and wrap them up and tie them in little pretty ribbons. So I was like, I can't just throw this away. So they're saved for all time. And JD and Edie and Pei were also on that panel, and they had really fun answers, and we just had a grand old time. So I really love that video. Video number 2 is related. This is Authortube resolutions for the new year. And in this, I actually said connecting with more authors, which is cool because there it was. I'm doing mostly an Authortube panel a month. I think I skipped 1 or 2. But I went back and I listened to it, and I think I had 8 and I hadn't done 2. So I was like 6 out of 8. That's not bad. That's not bad, especially since it's 2021 and there's shit going down. So not bad. I'm happy with it. And I'm planning on doing some of those for next year as well. If anyone, again, I'll put up this call. If anyone's interested in planning for next year, not reads exactly. I mean, unless you're that detailed, I'm not going to be planning actual books that I read. I'm mostly planning like an editorial calendar because I've got to coordinate all the different channels, just like JD here has to do. JD has showed up in the chat. Heavens forfend. Editorial calendar meaning something where you look at the month and the opportunities to coordinate what content you're going to put out that month. So like January, sounds like we should do a resolutions video. February, that's Black History Month here in the States. Let's talk about this and like, look for which of our friends have time to do a conversation or a buddy read, that kind of thing. So if you're interested in planning out your year for your channel or your books or your writing, please contact me and you could be on my fun November or December panel. It's going to be one or the other. So there we go. My third favorite video. So this was fun. How I use music and song in historical fiction. So this is one of my pulled topics that I dove into. And I went through the books that I use for music resources for 19th century in Scotland. And I did a little bit of singing, but not too much. It was more like folk culture. And yeah, I might even do an update of that one. And then the fourth video is related because it's a little cringy because it's the second video I ever did for Booktube. It's the musical theater tag. It's part of my personality. I couldn't wait to get this up. So it's like before I learned how to do anything. So take it with a grain of salt. Listen past the first 2 minutes where I'm like bumbling. And I just talk about the musicals that I love, movies and plays and all this kind of stuff. So that was a super fun one. JD says he'll see when life cooperates enough to hop on a panel. No sweat. This is the second time I've said that today. I don't really like the word sweat. I don't know why I'm saying it more than once. And then the fifth video, the last one that I'm going to point out as, very proud of previous work, is another Friday Live that was from earlier this year in February. So after I'd been on like 8 months or so. And this is the one that I advertised with sea shanties. And this does have singing. So I don't sing the whole thing because they're very repetitive and that would be pretty terrible. But I do sing 4 or 5 different songs. And so I just want to point people to that one because I think it'd be fun. Yeah. So if you got into the sea shanty trend on TikTok, or if you just wondered what it was about, I give you a little hint of what sea shanties sound like, where they come from, and how they intersected with my author research because I'm a nerd. So that is prompt number 6. And then prompt number 7 is the big old tag at least 4 small booktube channels or every small channel you can think of. And so I've got, hold on to your hats, 17. So by my definition, a small booktube channel is going to be less than 1,000. So not monetized. We're all like aiming to get up there just to like see what the view is from there, basically. And so I'm going to start with the smallest, the people who are less than 500, just like me, and are really great channels that I think of and interact with on the regular, and you should definitely check them out and subscribe. I'm going to skip that sweat versus moist because I've already said it 4 times today. I'm done. JD says, I did see that post and had a song people said is a bit shanty-esque. That you wrote or that you performed in a video? Oh, that would be really fun. And if we ever figured out a platform where we could like sing at the same time, that'd be so cool. That'd be really cool. Melissa has shown up in the chat. Hello, happy Friday. JD says, he's laughing. He says, hashtag forever small. Both. Very cool. Have I said that? I don't think none of them is popping to mind. It's been a minute since you did a music video on the Booktube, but I don't think I can recall one easily that it sounded like a sea shanty. So you'll have to point it out, or perhaps you can do this tag. Wink, wink. So we're gonna start small. Rosie Cockshut, less than 500 subscribers. She is a booktuber from Canada. She excels in the baking arts for the Lord of the Rings crowd, and very sweet. She's got a thing for purple, although I think she's toned it down and Jeremy is not okay with this, but we love it. Sako Toomey is a fellow author who does lots of sprints, and I've been on a panel with them, and they seem very cool and very motivated and very prolific, and so definitely check out Sako Toomey, spelled like it was in Japanese. So there you go. A newer booktuber that I've followed recently is Red Dot Reads. That's Nikki. She's in Singapore, and she has a great practice of diverse reading and really digging into the background of books. And I've had some great conversations with her in her comments, so that's super fun. Jackie Reads and Writes. She doesn't have much writing on her channel, even though it's in her name, but she does have really fun reading and reviewing videos, and she seems very off the cuff and genuine. So I love that she tagged me in this, and I'm putting her in this prompt, but also she's already done this tag, so we'll just skip that. Another newer channel to me is Bouquin and Books, and she is, I believe, in French Canada because she's got both. She's already helped me with some word choice, diction choices or translation help that I hear her say something, or I've seen it somewhere else and will ask, and I think she's a translator for her job. I don't know. So I haven't gotten the background, the lowdown on her yet, but I've just started watching and really enjoy her viewpoint on things. We've got Chandra Arthur, whose video I popped up earlier. She is the one that is hosting for Worldwide Write-a-thon, and she's great. She's an author. She does historical fiction, but I haven't read any of it yet because she's keeping it all behind the scenes. She's also a yoga teacher. She also does tarot card reading. She's got it all. So, I mean, if you want to tune in Chandra, she's got an amazing channel, and definitely subscribe. Then I've got author Emily Harris, who is, I think, in Virginia. She's done a recent series of traveling posts. She's visiting places where she's researching for her current book. She says she writes steamy historical romance. I think that's how she categorizes it, just so that people don't get surprised. And I love her research tidbits, her research rabbit holes that she goes down. And I think we speak the same nerdy language in terms of all that kind of geeking out about historical details. So that's super fun. Oh, okay. Bouquin and Books is in Ottawa, Ontario, which is not French Canada, but it's very close. So maybe she's lived there. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Few more. So Melissa's on my list. Melissa, if you're still in the chat, raise your hand. Melissa is also in Ontario, I believe. My Canadian geography is sadly lacking. I'm very sorry. I apologize. But Melissa, let's see. She's very upfront about stuff, which I really appreciate. She tackles lots of hard reads that people are I don't know if I really want to read this. She read Moby Dick. She's the one with the great series of pop culture osmosis, where she reads a book where she thinks she knows what happens because everyone knows the book, but then realizes, oh, this is what that story is actually about. So it's super funny. She does vlog style, and it's not the regular type of vlog where it's lots of B-roll and music. It's reading in fits and starts, and her reactions as she discovers things, and se rend compte, where she tells herself if she was wrong or right, and then gives herself a grade at the end. And those are hilarious. But I also appreciate the ones where she's just weighing in about how many videos am I doing and how is life going and all that stuff. So we love it. We love it, Melissa. Yay for small booktubers. I've also got Christy up here, Christy Stratos. You've seen her on Authortube panels here before. Christy is a fellow historical fiction author, but she veers dark. She veers in a darker vein. So same era, but definitely different subject matter. And she also does a really kick-ass weekly interview series with Richard Stevens on Facebook. And they've gathered lots of diverse genre, age, nationality, everything, authors on their channels to interview, and that's been really fun. We just had one that was a historical fiction panel because they're going genre by genre, and I mean, we could have gone on for 3 hours because we had some amazing people. We had some, like, I was a little starstruck, and I was super happy to be just like in the chat room with some of these authors: Vanessa Riley, Leah Inkstman, Engineer's Wife. It's right there, and I can't reach it because my neck is not letting me turn. Sorry. So we'll have to wait for that one. Yes, and JD is reminding me it's called Lurking for Legends. So yeah, so that's Christy's series. It's really good. You should definitely follow her. So I'll put all these channel names in the description so you can sign up right after we finish. And my last under 500 subscribers, just barely under 500 subscribers, is Barrett Laurie. And he's been the marketing guru for the past couple months. He's a sweetheart. He's over on Instagram as well. And he does a live critique group. He does fun panels. He does interviews. He also does a whole other side to his channel, which is about Crohn's and chronic illness living. And his book-related one is mostly author-focused and on marketing and YouTube algorithm, which is helpful. He's been the inspiration for me getting over my phobia about the tech, like I said at the beginning of this video, and boosting my game in terms of all the little things that they want you to do, like cards and tags and end screen and pinning comments and all that sort of stuff. So if you're kind of wondering what the low-hanging fruit is, and maybe it's not so bad, I could just check things off as I go, definitely head to Barrett's channel for that info, that 411. And then we get into under 1,000. So these people are between 500 and 1,000. And yeah, they're still small and they still deserve more subscribers. So this is why I'm going to keep going. My first on this list is Amrita by the book. She is taking a hiatus for health reasons, but she's still on Instagram and Twitter. So I see her Instagram stories pop up, and I've seen her twice on Twitter. There's a live recording thing that you can do in the Twitter app, and I didn't know that. I was like, how is she doing this? That's so cool. She is she's a boss on social media. What can I say? She's very snappy, very witty, has great opinions, and a wide world experience to bring to any conversation. So we love Amrita, and I'm sure you're no stranger to her if you know me. So there you go. Melissa's saying that stuff scares me too. I know. And I need them low hangers. And that sounds awful. It's actually not Periscope. It's just a feature in the Twitter app. It's not an extra one. I think Periscope failed, and this is something where you can choose to go live just like you do in Instagram from the Twitter app. So if you have that on your phone, check it out. But credit Amrita and tell her she's a goddess. The next person I have for under 1,000 subscribers that you should check out is Britt Reiterly. So right now it's October. It's Black-A-Ween-a-thon, and that is Bree's holiday. She's a big Halloween person, and she sort of started this trend, and lots of people are hopping on because they love the creepy reads. And Shay of Shay with the Hobbies and Britt of Britt Reiterly have tag teamed to do sprints, and they did one this morning. Basically almost every day, it feels like, just for reading and productivity and stuff. And they also have really great conversations. So in addition to sprints, they do conversation stuff and get down into the nitty gritty of social media conversations and how would I characterize it? Real talk about why we have divisions in certain areas in writing and in reading. Britt is, I think, a PhD candidate, but she's also writing a novel, and she's got a very robust understanding of privilege, and it's she wears all these hats and brings it out in discussion, and is super fabulous. So JD says he did go live once on Twitter. Whoa, this is a side of you I've never seen. Very exciting. Oh, look who's next for recommending under 1,000 subscribers. That'll be JD Estrada, everybody in the chat. JD's wonderful. He always happens by and says hello, no matter what he's doing, how hard he's working elsewhere or at the same time. He's been on my channel for panel discussions. He's been to YOLO Book Afloat because he's a superstar. He has 18 million books out, so he's got something for every taste that you could want. Nonfiction, fiction, poetry, middle grade, saga, like all the good stuff, and it's just a beautiful human. So there you go. What is the banana peel for? I don't know what that means. Okay, so maybe it's 18 instead of 18 million, but still 18 books. Come on. Next we have, again, someone who's not unfamiliar to any of you, I'm sure, but I'm trying to like boost with more links. Gunpowder, Fiction and Plot. So Scott and Nell down under in Australia, and they have under 1,000 subscribers, and they do really cool things. They read a lot of books for prizes. They do a lot of fun skits. Scott like gets drenched in his clothes in the shower just for our entertainment. I mean, what more could you ask for? So there you go. Oh, of course. Sorry, the banana is for the I should have known. The JD shtick of Friday? Must be a Friday. 00 bananas. Yes. These are funny. These are funny little skits. So Gunpowder, Fiction and Plot. Then we have Book Whimsy. Under 1,000 subscribers. That is Cynthia. She is another academic. She is the one who told me about how to fail at flirting, which I had and listened to and loved. So she's got a wide variety of she had a great variety on her list for Latinx-a-thon, and she also does like really good romances, and she is an academic. She's a professor for, I think, like feminist French history or something ridiculously niche like that. So that makes my heart go pitter-pat. But she's also just like really fun. She does lots of long stories on Instagram talking about her day and like the grading, and she has a cute dog, and again, all the things. So there you go. And yes, I was right. Bananas are for Fridays. So that means we have one today. Woohoo! After Cynthia, we have Amy at A-Star Reads. Amy is in the Pacific Northwest, I discovered recently, which is super exciting. And I think I need to give her a bookstore tour. She's super chill. She reads lots of books. She has a lot of stuff going on. She takes us into the outdoors for some of her videos, which is really fun. She does outdoor something for her job, and I can't remember what it is, but it gets her out into nature, and I think she's like sampling something scientific. So help me out if anyone knows the scientists in the room. But we love Amy, and hopefully I am no, I don't think I have a buddy read plan with her, but I wish I did. So yeah, she is under 1,000. And then the last one, I know you're all wondering, the last recommendation. There's a channel called Oyoko, and she does out of the box videos. So some of them are book reviews and book comparisons. Some of them are vlogs where she's walking around the city. I think she's in the UK, so I think I've seen more than one place. So perhaps she's traveled or moved recently. And the one that she put up recently was just called Fear, and it was almost like a spoken word poetry over a vlog where she's walking in nature. And it's basically about personal relationships, and I just love her style. She's got a great style. She's vegan. She does sustainability topics. She's kind of like Lena Norms, but she's under 1,000 subscribers, and so she needs more attention because she's doing a lot of good work. 17. So that's not all the Small Booktube channels, but that's like all I could get through in my subscriptions page before I collapsed. It might be the reason why my neck hurts today. So I'll put those in the description box afterwards, and hopefully I'll help boost their channels a little bit with my little, I don't know, ability to boost, however small it is. But that is my small booktuber tag for my Friday Live. Yeah. So all those people are tagged, which means Shady's tagged and Melissa's tagged and anyone else in the chat who hasn't done this yet. I didn't check. I think I just avoided tagging the people who tagged me, except for Jackie. So if you haven't done this, feel free to go ahead. Yes, I'm going to put the links in the description as soon as I'm done. They're in there. I just didn't put them in so that I wouldn't spoil it. But yeah. And then what else did I have for you today? What have I been up to? Well, okay, you know me in big paper. This is a different map in case anyone thought it was the same one. I'm on another piece of big paper. I'm wondering how many of you have heard of X. So this is my fun Friday game about history. How many people have heard of Marshall Field? Just, I guess, say yes in the comments. I'll wait. Or if no one has heard of him, then I'll just skip to the next person. Marshall Field. Marshall Field. Oh, this is time for another sip of hot cocoa. Rings a bell for Melissa. Marshall Field. He was a huge, rich person in Chicago in the end of the 19th century. He had a big department store, kind of like Macy's. And yeah, it's called Marshall Fields, and spent a lot of money. And he had a lot of decision-making power in Chicago in the end of the 19th century. Okay, what about Henry George? Henry George. I might have mentioned him on this channel before. Henry George. I've got all these names swimming around in this like word cloud that I'm considering putting in the story. Some of them already are, some are not, but I might swap them out because they just feel a little bit more juicy or a little more delicious. Or I said juicy. Does that count as like borderline moist? Nope. Okay. Henry George grew up Civil War era, was working for newspapers, had this big idea about why the rich and the poor are so antagonistic. He had a solution, which is called the single tax. And his idea was that you should be taxed on the land that you have, because that's the only thing that we can't make more of that's not a product of our own labor, and not the improvements that you make on it. So the person who has a tiny plot of land and builds a house on it would be taxed a lot less than the person who has a huge tract of land and puts the same type of house on it because they're not using the land. Anyway, it's pretty radical. It was kind of popular for a hot minute in the 90s. He ran for mayor of New York and lost, and then sort of like died in penury, one of those kind of figures. But yeah, he's not a royal. He has a royal name, but that's just because they're very common names. So he's a very intriguing figure, though. And he was out in the West for a while to make some money, and then came back and was working for newspapers and printing. So I'm very intrigued by him and his theories, but no one's heard of him. So I thought that's interesting. Okay, no one's heard of Florence Kelly. Everyone's heard of Upton Sinclair. What about Louis Sullivan? Louis Sullivan. He's another intriguing figure. Louis Sullivan. Ooh. And I've got a book on him over there, but it's half in German, so it's not very detailed. Is this a clue? Not really. No, these are from Spain. No. Okay. It could be a clue. It looks like it's a clue. That's your clue. So Louis Sullivan, again, he's one of these romantic figures who had an idea, tried to fight for it, really had some substance and some like willpower to get stuff done, but for whatever reason didn't work out and ended up dying in penury. He was an architect. He was sort of a superstar for the decade of the 1890s, and he was in the architecture firm Adler and Sullivan, where Frank Lloyd Wright started. And Frank Lloyd Wright like took an idea and did something on the side and then got thrown out of that firm. Sullivan was the partner in that firm, and he designed one big thing for the World's Fair in 1893. But his designs are sort of like William Morris designs in that they try to imitate nature, and they have a much different approach to style than the neoclassical stuff that was mostly in vogue at the time. And so he's like this forlorn outlier of style and architecture in this decade, and lost all his money, lost all his friends, got the divorce, his wife left him, like all these terrible things. But I want to stick him in terms of an influence and style for my main character in this book. So I really like Louis Sullivan's work. Katya's hitting off. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you. Okay, I'm not sure where this comes in. DeForest Kelley played Dr. McCoy in Star Trek. Oh, I said Florence Kelley, and you heard DeForest Kelley, actor. Nice try. Nice try. Yeah. So, just like some names that are frittering through my head that I've got in a word cloud here, and I have events as well, and just like casting about for the right combination of things. It'll happen. It'll happen. I've got a story, but it's not working, and I need to figure out what's not working. So there you go. Jim's got another tidbit here. The fictional character of Henry Cameron in Ayn Rand's 1943 novel, The Fountainhead, was similar to the real life Sullivan was noted. Huh. I'm guessing this is out of like a Wikipedia thing. I haven't read The Fountainhead, so this is news to me. And there we are. That is my, I was going to say short, but I mean, I went through 17 Booktuber friends, so we're already at 45 minutes. So thank you for tuning in this Friday, and I hope to see you at, let's see, tomorrow's live discussion of Cranford, which was delightful for Victober, or Sunday's Worldwide Write-a-thon if you want to get your write on, or next Sunday's Authortube panel on past lives. Getting a little spooky. Otherwise, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you in your comments because you're all, sorry, the big pad of paper is having a little fit because you're all lovely people, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Ciao. Yes, Becky came at the very end. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for showing up. I love you. I love you. Have a great weekend. Bye.